So we certainly want to wish a happy Father's Day to all the fathers today. And I'm thankful and grateful to have witnessed and been amongst men in my circle who are wonderful, outstanding fathers. But I want to also acknowledge that, in addition to this being Father's Day, and it was Father's Day weekend, we know that June 19th, but on that Friday, we know that President Biden made Juneteenth a national federal holiday. We know the significance of it. We know that in Texas, it was the Emancipation Proclamation was signed in 1863 by President Abraham Lincoln, but it did not reach the slaves in Texas until 1865, which was about close to 2.5 years later. Today won't be very long, but I want to speak to you from the Gospel according to Luke chapter 15. Verse 15 through 24. It reads, "And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into the fields to feed swine." Verse 16, "And he would fain have filled his belly with the husk that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. And when he had came to himself, he said, How many hired servants of my father have bread enough and spare, and I perish with hunger? I will rise and go to my father, and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. And he rose and came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and his compassion, and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. And the son said unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in thy sight, and no more worthy to be called thy son. But the father said to his servants, Bring forth the best robe and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet, and bring him hither the fatted calf, and kill it, and let us eat and be merry. For this my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found, and began to be merry. May the Lord add bless you to read and hear for his soul, for the edification of our soul. I want to speak to you from the subject, God's arms are wide. And so this is a perspective how a father and child relationship is, and how we can also apply that to our lives and how we relate with our relationship with God. Despite our challenging him, his arms remain what? Wide open for us. Any broken daddies out there, I'm here to tell you that God can mend a broken father and heal his heart and mend them and unify them and bring them back together. In other words, what I do here on earth is for me to strive here in heaven. What you do for God is not in vain, and he is a rewarder of them who seek him diligently. My Lord, I'm encouraged today that one, God is a loving father, and his sole interest is in saving you. If you don't get excited about the fact that when someone who needs the Lord comes into the house to turn their life around, to connect with God and to accept him as Lord and Savior, if that's not enough for you to get happy, then you might want to check your Pharisee mentality at the door, because in heaven, they are celebrating. In heaven, they're having a praise party. And if there's anything to celebrate, is to celebrate a father who keeps his arms wide enough that no matter what his child does, no matter what his child brings back to him, his arms, his first response is to open them arms wide enough so that when they come back, they know that despite the mess and baggage they bring with them, despite not listening and still learning the hard way, my arms are wide enough to accept everything you've done and still embrace you just like my child. This is what God does for those who have been pulled out of darkness into the light. Yeah, there's some broken daddies out there and some fractured families, but I'm here to tell you this Juneteenth weekend, this Father's Day weekend, God is in the business of what? Taking broken daddies and making them healed and whole again, fractured families and restoring them. And maybe you don't feel so happy on today, but I want you to know that God can restore and make whole the broken. I'm a living witness and testimony today. But whatever the case, fathers, enjoy your day today.